The eagle's head is turned to the right toward the cardinal direction of the midday sun. The eagle is thus shown with his wings spread, ready to fly when the sun reaches the meridian. The cloud of glory of 13 golden stars, with 12 forming an interlaced triangle around the 13th, resembles the great seal of Solomon. It has been said that this represents the equilibrium of the macrocosmic and the microcosmic worlds of creation within an infinite circle. We can see within this brilliantly illumined cloud the promised Christ kingdom of 12 states centered around one head. It is curious to note how often the number 13 appears as an important part of this symbolism. It is evident that the number 13 must contain some spiritual relation to the order and movement of the universe. We observed that Jesus had 12 disciples, forming 13. Odin brought 12 priests or gods to Europe from Asia. There were 12 stones in the breastplate of the high priest of Israel, the stones and plate forming 13. The 12 houses of the zodiac controlled by the sun, forming again the number 13. Many more could be cited, but these are sufficient to suggest the mystic 13, which had a significant part in the forming of the USA. Now, having learned something of the meaning of these symbols, we may reconstruct the vision as it is represented by the symbols of the Great American Seal, and read its message in the following manner. From the ashes of the immortal phoenix there appeared a baby eagle. 13 twigs were collected together to form the eagle's nest, and in the warmth of the morning sun the eagle thrives and becomes strong, and the twigs become a sturdy tree of many branches. And when the sun arrives at the meridian, the immortal spirit will be revived, and the eagle will fly into the sun. In the symbol of the phoenix arising from its ashes, we find the symbol of the cosmic egg. It is also known as a symbol of regeneration. What the Brotherhood of the White Temple teaches. It teaches you how to know the causes behind all effects. It teaches you how to use the laws of health and long life. It teaches you that there is nothing supernatural, that everything is natural and operates according to fixed laws. It takes away the veil of mystery from the hidden things of life and reveals them as they are. It solves the mysteries of life and death, teaching what each is. It directs you along the path of light so that you will eventually find the master within, and become an illumined son of God. The Brotherhood teaches the fundamental and natural laws of the universe and how to operate them, so that life, light, and power become the natural things in your life. I want to tell you my connection with Kelvin Rowe. I used to live in a city called San Jacinto, California, and that is where Mr. Rowe lived. And I heard about him from someone who contacted me by email and told me that there was someone in my area that had UFO experience. And so I looked him up in the phone book, and turns out he lived right across the street from the mobile home park that I lived in. As a matter of fact, when he mentions in the book that he walked out from his house and saw the craft, it could have been in the mobile home park when it was a field that he walked out, and they may have departed right there from that area that now is a place where a lot of people live in mobile homes. Anyway, I thought that was very unique. And his daughter told me that one time he was being spied on by some group of people that suspected he was having contact for real. And they just suddenly found their car and themselves in another whole place. They had parked it near his house, and they were moved. They have great power, these beings from other planets. And my friend, Aida is her name, she said she never saw them. They were in the house sometimes at night when she was there, but she would always be asleep. And then she said one night, though, she woke up to notice that the house had a strange blue light glowing about it. And then she doesn't remember anything after that because they knew she had woken up. And back to sleep she went. But she did ask her grandfather, did they come? And he confirmed that they had. But they know things. They know our thoughts. They know if we're awake or asleep, or they can move cars. They just have great power. I really wish the people of the world would establish some kind of protocol for greeting them and letting them know we're all ready. We have a plan. When you come, this is what will transpire. The people will meet you here, and we'll free the airspace of any dangerous onlookers. All kinds of things we could do if we really would. And I think that day is fast approaching because the people are rising up and saying, we want to know. We want to know. Don't keep us from this. This may be the very thing that will help us. Although I don't think they're here to be the saviors of us, because like he said in the book, they could change things like about the pollution in the world pretty quick. But until it changes in mankind, it wouldn't do any good, because we would just pollute it again. And they're working with the universal laws, and they know that we have to change in our hearts, and that really the establishment of the new age is when we all look at ourselves and try to let go of some of our condemnation and judgment and some of our pettiness and our bitterness about others who don't think or look or feel about things as we do. We don't have a lot of tolerance, but we need to learn it. And it's all about us working on ourselves. That's what it's really all about. It's about the inner peace that we need to get within ourselves. And I think this book did a real good job of making that point very clear. And I hope that the people listening to this will want to listen to it over and over, because it is full of really good advice. Some of the things he talked about, well, that was back in the 1950s. And some of that has gotten better, and in some ways it's gotten worse. We still have a government that doesn't want to acknowledge the presence of our space brothers. And we still have a lot of secrecy, and we have a lot of people bent on destruction still. But there's enough of us that are knowing the truth and how we have to change ourselves. And one of the big changes is we have to love our brothers and sisters who are not of the light. The ones that are working for the Prince of Darkness. And knowingly and unknowingly there are people doing that. But we have to see them in a new light. We have to see them and call what is not as though it were. It's not any more good to call a spade a spade. You know, the old saying goes, I call a spade a spade. You know, I call it like I see it. No. We don't want to call it like we see it with our physical eyes. We want to do what God did, because we're gods in training, and God looked at all he made and called it good. And God called what is not as though it were. And see, I'm not asking that we call what is as though it were not. I'm saying call what is not as though it were. Because with our eyes and our way of seeing, we can call forth the good in the people that are doing bad right now. But we have to see them in a new light. And we have to realize we're part of the problem too. And have much forgiveness and mercy, and even forget, by allowing them to be the way they are, and knowing, positively knowing, that they can change and that they will change. Anyway, I think the internet is a wonderful way of spreading this message. And anybody want to join me in sending good, loving thoughts to those who are working for the darkness? Not for their ways to be continued, but that they would see the light. Then feel free.